Vista. Good afternoon, Sierra Vista and surrounding community. This is Melanie Edwards Barton, CEO at the Sierra Vista Area Chamber of Commerce. And we have a special guest with us today. This is Vibe. And Vibe is the Business Development Manager with Aventura World. Now, welcome, Vibe. Thank you for being here with us
Thank
today.
you. Thank you
And
so much. Thank you.
we have been talking for a year now about, or
Mm.
2 years actually, about different trips that the chamber has. And so we went to Spain last year. We're going to Italy this year. And this is all because of Vibe. So, Vibe, tell us a little bit about Aventura World.
Thank you, Melanie, for having me, and everybody. Good afternoon to Sierra Vista Chamber, its members and audience. Well, Aventura World is celebrating its. We are working in the field of chamber travel program, but to be precisely noting it, it's international awareness programs. We work predominantly alongside chambers of commerce and similar nonprofits all across US and Canada. We are travel wholesalers, whereby we bring in value travel programs, which are then adapted to suit the requirements of chambers of commerce and their audience for going to international destinations, understanding the culture, and also understanding how things work over there. And while doing that, also have some fun, which adds to the repertoire of events at the Chamber of Commerce.
So, but you work, like you said, exclusively with chambers of commerce and nonprofits. Why is that?
A couple of reasons. You can trace it back to the starting days of the organization, where our initial patrons were nonprofits. So obviously, we struck a chord, and then the way we design the programs are slightly different from a typical vacation. The features that we have in our tour programs is what we call as cruise on land philosophy, whereby we try to stay put at one location for a longer time and do touring in different directions from there. So that really helps us in keeping the whole group together and building the affinity, which really suits a chamber of commerce style, or how do I put it, membership based organization style travel program, more conducive to the audience, which in case of a typical vacation program, people want to hop on from one spot to the other. This is giving you a lot of coverage, but it is still not that taxing on you for checking in and checking out. So the program design, the delivery, the cultural exchange aspect, everything fits well into the aims of the chamber's initiative of a travel program.
So we're very excited. We, like I said, we have Italy coming up here, but I'm just kind of curious before we get to that. What makes Aventura World trips different than different travel agencies' trips? Obviously, you work with chambers of commerce, but what are the different aspects that make it a little bit different than what you would get maybe through a regular travel agency?
Okay. So, three things that make it different. Number one, starting from what it is for the chamber. So, for the chamber, you get to work with somebody who understands you. So, when we work with chambers of commerce and nonprofits, we understand your aims of why a chamber wants to do it, or different aims of why they want to do it. And so there's a understanding. There is also some kind of a historical knowledge of why chambers have been doing it, and then we also have a kind of a bank of information collected through previous trips, so that if some new chamber is joining this thing, we can pass on that information to them, be a consultant to them. The second thing that applies mostly to the travelers as the audience is you get to travel with your own community members of like-minded people. Because if you are either part or affiliated to the chamber, the one commonality you have is the chamber. So obviously there is something you already share as common. So why not share another thing as common? Just the way a chamber organizes a weekend market, or a Christmas market, or a golf tournament, or a tennis tournament, or any of those kind of events, a travel program can also be an event which is done on an international scale. setting and not a local setting. So a chamber is known to be more of a local organization which is trying to go global with it. The third reason is of importance again to the audience and also to the chamber is both the staff of the chamber or some representative plus the people travel together, and that allows them to mingle in a very non-formal fun spot which is outside the country, not just a golf resort in your vicinity but somewhere else. So it's really important. I mean, those are those intangible things which I can just say, hey, they exist, but it is important to experience them. And that really works in the favor of both the audience and the chamber.
So I don't want people to think that you have to be a member of the chamber in order to go on one of these trips. So that's not correct information, right, Vibe? They don't have to be a member of the chamber.
From our side, we are not restrictive altogether. We want anybody and everybody to join it. Yes, there are certain restrictions. I would say the trips are not meant for younger children to go. And nothing because of the content, but because of the whole group setting in which the trips are operated. And the fellow travelers might not like it when there are children going there. Similarly, people with physical restrictions might not find it at the correct trip to go on, because you have to have a uniformity in the group for it to run smoothly. And nothing against them, but that's how the trips have been designed. Beyond that, there are no restrictions on the trip. So if, for example, if you're a member, if you're a non-member, it's more about the community. So if there is a community in Sierra Vista whereby I mean, is there a chamber member who referred you to the trip? Please hop on to that. If you have a friend or family living elsewhere in US, you can still join it. So there is this other opportunity also, not just on a local level, but on a national level too. I mean, since the last 3 years, it has become like if you have a friend or family living in US or in Canada, so now it's become like you can bring in somebody from a different country altogether to this trip. So it's kind of international in its nature now.
So your friends or family that live somewhere else in the US or Canada can actually fly out of their closest major airport and meet you in Italy or in Peru or in Greece, correct?
Yes, absolutely. And we can facilitate that. Again, the only thing that we kind of keep in mind is that they have to fly from a major airport. So it's just for the convenience and finding them the most comfortable flight option to connect. A lot of times what happens, sorry to cut you, but
no, go ahead,
a lot of time what happens is people just travel to your starting point and then join the group from there, because again, it's a matter of family. So they say, okay, we will come to you, stay a couple of days with you, and then travel together. So those kind of things do happen, but there is a lot of flexibility that we offer.
Well, and we have that happening with our upcoming Italy trip, which is wonderful. But I had another question for you and it went away. It'll come back. But I wanted to talk about the cost. So the cost is very reasonable for these trips, considering they're 9 days, 7 nights with extensions if they want it, but it includes a lot in that price. Can you just kind of run through a little bit of that?
Okay, so I'll go in steps. Number one, I think I told you that we are travel wholesalers when I was introducing Aventura World. So when we are wholesalers, firstly, what we are doing is we are cutting off the middleman. So that allows us to control the costs a lot. It kind of makes us more affordable for the kind of content we offer. So one has to have, because there are so many different parts that are comprised in the trip, like flights, hotels, transportation, the guides and the quality of guides, the places that you're visiting, the entrance fees that you're paying for those places, the meals that you're taking, the beverages that you're drinking, everything involves some kind of money in it. So if you put all of those together and also add some quality to it, whether there are good hotels, whether there are good meals, whether the guides were great, so everything costs. And if you put all of that together, Aventura World's prices are quite affordable. You might find cheaper trips too, and I'm not saying you would not find that. But would that be going with like-minded people from the same community and same area? Would that be going to the same kind of good quality hotel or good quality buses and so on. So those things also add value to it.
Well,
Now,
and the cultural discovery portions as well, I
exactly.
think are
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. So thank you for mentioning that. So there are certain features when we talk about international awareness programs. We also try to expose the audience to cultural aspects of the destination. So, for example, if you're going to Italy, so what are we learning in Italy about Italy? And which are not very stereotypical things or not done in more of a touristy setup. It's a very natural, organic way of learning things about the culture of that place. It also allows you to mingle with the locals. So it's not something that your guide will be protecting you and not allowing you to talk to somebody who might have their own perspective. So it is a very, I would say, a free and organic way of understanding the culture of the country that you're going to. When you mentioned
Well,
about the
I know with
duration,
Italy, we're
yeah,
actually going to a farmhouse. And
yes,
so at that farmhouse, we're going to be spending the evening
yeah,
with the locals there at the farmhouse on the farm
yeah,
and having dinner there and
yeah.
discussions with the locals there.
Yeah, and we're also doing a wine tasting in the Chianti region, but it's not a typical wine tasting as people have known it. For example, if you go to San Francisco and the Napa Valley, uh, it's not like a regimented wine tour. It is still a wine tour which is designed for international audience, but it's not a regimented wine tour. You can do a lot of things. I've been to different wine tours, and sometimes you're not allowed to step on the plantations. You can just see it from a distance. So in this case, that's not the case. So there are different things. I'll also circle back to the point that you mentioned about the duration of the trip. So all these trips are designed in a fashion that usually they fall into this 7 night, 9 day duration with a 2 to 3 night extensions that are available. That allows you not to take a very long break from your work and still get boss's approval to travel. It also allows you to plan your expenses, because if you want to do the shorter part which suits your pocket, you can do it. If you have more time and money with you, you can take the extension. If you have further more money, you can also opt for flight upgrades and so on. So again, there is flexibility. Plus, it is available for different levels of audience too. So whether you have less time, mediocre money, you can go. You have more time, more money, you can go, and you have more time as well as further more money, you can still go. And it's still, the services remain standard for everyone.
Wonderful. And so, as we said, we're off to Tuscany in October.
Mhm.
And then we have two more trips that we've got available for people to sign up for. So we have Peru in February and then Greece
Yeah.
next November in 2023. So we're pretty excited about that. Can you give us maybe a little bit of information on Peru?
The Peru trip is one of our kind of top selling non-European trip that we have been doing. So Peru is kind of a bucket list destination for a lot of people. But it is also important to note that this trip involves a lot of things, which is done at a very nice pace. It is a tough terrain. This has to be kept in mind that Peru is not an easy terrain to travel to. You gain a lot of altitude at many places. The weather and the pattern changes at a lot of places. However, the way it has been paced, this is what has been appreciated in many of our past groups. So it is not taking you through a very quick pace, and it is going very slowly. You get to understand the country very well. You get to go to the most important place, Machu Picchu, which everybody wants to go. So that is also covered in that. You get to experience the local culture, the native culture. So not just the city life or the tourist spots, but also the native culture of the country. It is going in the month of February, which is kind of a very nice, temperate time to be there. It's neither very cold, neither very hot. And as I said, the terrain is so much variable that things vary in Peru. So you can't put one point and say that it will be standard, but it is still a more conducive time to be there. And most importantly, it is quite easy to travel to from where you are located, from Arizona. So the connectivity from your place is well designed. Um, Also, if we see, there are chambers who prefer destinations with a foreign language aspect. So Peru offers you a lot of culture, a lot of history. It offers you a bucket list destination, and again a foreign language aspect, so that things that are lost in translation could be understood.
Very nice. And then we're going to Greece in November of
Yes.
2023.
Mhm.
Give
Well,
us a little
Greece.
bit on Greece.
Greece happens to be our backyard, I must say. So, just like your last year's Spain trip, Greece happens to be almost one of the most high selling destinations. In the recent past, because the way Greece's tourism board worked out its plan in the COVID era, made it stand at one of the best selling destinations in the world. They were the first country to open for tourism in that COVID patch of early 2021. We operated trips in March and April 21 when nobody was traveling. So that gives Greece a head start in their preparedness. That also gives them the head start in not having any shortfall of staff or airline staff and those kind of things that people are facing these days, because they already ramped up their staff well in advance, or not many people lost jobs, if you can put it that way. Apart from that, the trip is really well designed. One of the features that makes the trip unique is it includes all your meals as well as all your alcoholic beverages during dinners. So the hotel is
That's going to
really,
be
yeah,
really
that's going
appealing
to be
to
the
a
hill of
lot
the
of people.
party. Yeah, it's one of the USPs, I must say. It's also a logistically very smart trip. You stay put in a central location, which is a beachside hotel, and you travel in different directions every day, which are geographically distinct, historically distinct, and still within 2.5 hours of driving distance from the hotel. So you're not covering a lot on land altogether, but you're going to very specific spots in different directions, uh, and which are different from each other. So there is a variety going on, and yet there is a common connect that they are part of the same historical or cultural aspect of the country. Even the food varies in different directions. The weather and temperature and the humidity, everything varies. So it will give you a taste of Greece in each direction, and you also happen to visit Athens twice. So it's not that you're just wrapped up in one day. You get another go at it, which is again very unique, the way in which we designed the tour. And you can extend the trip to Santorini. Again, a lot of travel operators offer Santorini, but they give you ferry connections from Athens, which takes around 6.5 hours. We've cut that time down to 40 minutes by offering flights. So you maximize your stay in Santorini rather than facing the waves on the sea. So rather than saving money on going on a ferry, pay a little more, take a flight, and enjoy more time in Santorini. And that really makes it unique once again.
Wonderful. So just want to let everybody know, I believe our cutoff date to register and to sign up for Peru is November 11th, I believe.
Yes.
But all of that information is on our website. Go to svachamber.com and you can get all the information on Peru and all the information on Greece. And so we're very excited about these trips. I will be sure to share some pictures with everybody when I get back from Italy so that you can have a better idea of how these trips go. But I'll be going this year, so we're very excited about that. And thank you, Vibe, for coming
Thank
on
you.
today and giving some
Thank
more
you.
information. And we're always available if anybody has information or questions out there about any of the upcoming trips. Just give us a call here at 520-458-6940 or jump on our website at svachamber.com. And we are happy to walk you through registering for these different trips or answer any questions that you have. So
Lovely.
thank you again, Vibe. We appreciate you coming on and sharing information on the upcoming trips in Aventura World. And
Thank you.
we'll be talking soon.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.
You too. All right, we'll get to some of our updates. It's been a busy week this week. We had Good Morning Sierra Vista on Tuesday morning, which went really, really well. And thank you to Jason Bowling and SSBEC. Jason was our speaker and a lot of great information. So you can see some of that in the Herald as well. Also, coming up tonight, we have Business at Twilight right here at the Chamber, and that starts at 5 o'clock, and that is hosted by Sierra Vista Community Chorus. So please make sure you come out tonight, 5 o'clock at the Chamber. That's 21 East Wilcox Drive here in Sierra Vista, and enjoy some great networking with the Sierra Vista Community Chorus and other business leaders. So we will see you here tonight at 5 o'clock. Also, the City Council Forum and Mayoral Debate is coming up next Wednesday. That is on the 21st of September, 5:30 p.m. That will be at the Klein Performing Arts Center. So please make sure that's where you go. It does start at 5:30 p.m. So make sure you get there early to get a good seat. Our lineup for that, our City Council candidates are William Benning, Mark Rodriguez, Carolyn Umphrey, and Kevin Weston. And then our mayoral candidates, all in alphabetical order, Steve Conroy, Rachel Gray, and Clea McCaw. And this event is sponsored by KE&G. So thank you so much to KE&G for sponsoring this event. As you know, the Chamber is nonpartisan. Our purpose this year is to get the candidates out there in front of the constituents. And that way our constituents will be able to go to the polls informed. So again, that is next Wednesday, September 21st at 5:30 p.m. at the Klein Performing Arts Center. So City Council Forum and Mayoral Debate. Don't miss that. September 24th, very shortly after that, next Friday, is our annual golf scramble, our second annual golf scramble. So registration is open for that. Go to svachamber.com and get registered for that. We've got quite a few teams signed up, but we have room for some more. So make sure you get signed up as soon as possible. And that is sponsored by SSVEC and Herald Review Media and Agile Defense. And we have quite a few here, and Echoing Hope Ranch and KE&G. So we have a lot of sponsors for that. We're going to have a lot of golfers out there. It's going to be beautiful weather, no doubt. And we'll see you all out there. But jump on svachamber.com and get registered for that. Also, we have a congressional debate coming up October 12th at 5:30 p.m. That, again, is going to be at the Klein Performing Arts Center. So please make sure you put that on your calendar. Currently, we have 2 congressional candidates, CD6, that have confirmed. That's Juan Ciscomani and Kirsten Engel. So please make sure that you get that on your calendars, because you will be voting for members of Congress as well. So we will hopefully bring you some additional updates on that as we get a little closer to it. But again, that's October 12th at the Klein Performing Arts Center, and that is sponsored by the Huachuca 50. So thank you to the Huachuca 50 for sponsoring that event. Also, don't forget to post all of your jobs for our chamber members. Post your jobs online on our website. We've got a link for you here where you can post those jobs. And for anybody out there looking for a job, make sure you check our page. You can also get to some other great job links on that page as well. And don't forget to sign up for the Take Your Business Online program. We are increasing the benefits on that. So if you are a business out there and you are not online yet, or your online presence needs a lot of help, we are here to help you with that. So please check with us. We part of the grant, it's a free program for you, but part of the grant money will go to producing a new website for you as well. Compliments of the Herald Review and the grant through the Chamber of Commerce. So please go to our website, fill out the interest form for the Take Your Business Online program, and let's help you get online. And don't forget, for our chamber members, the sponsorships are in our online store. So make sure you go there if you're interested in sponsoring one of our upcoming events, and download our app so you have all this information at your fingertips. That's all we have for you today. We are the Sierra Vista Area